Just a reminder, today's conference is being recorded.
Yeah, hello everybody to another session of the XStepCafe. Today we have a pretty small group. I hope there are some people still coming. With me are Peter Vogel from Abbott and Michael Wolf from SAP Consulting. Hello, and it's been a long time. I cancelled the last session because there was only one with me. That was Michael. But today I will just go ahead and I've prepared some things. Maybe I'll show these first, and then we'll touch some other questions that might come. And Peter already indicated some questions. So, all right, let's get started. Share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen? And in this case, the blog. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I'd like to start off with one of the comments in the, where was that? It was in this post here. There was a comment of Mark Sevelich, if I pronounce this right, where he complains that he cannot import the XStep repository from the SDN. And I need to point out, maybe many people just maybe forget to read the documentation, which was recommended to do here. But I'll point out to this section again. So the issue was that there was an issue with a characteristic cannot be used, and obviously that was the reason here that characteristic just didn't exist probably in his system, most probably, and he tried to import an XStep tree which had just data in it. Can be a characteristic, can be a function modules, anything that is not in the standard system. If you have something like that in that import, it will fail because it just does not exist before. So you have to make sure that all things that are in that import are created beforehand, like characteristics and function modules, maybe other things, maybe like valuation symbols you might have somewhere. They all must be there before you import your stuff. And so this is the place where to find this in the SDN. You can Google this and you will find this quite quickly. And when you this is the zip file you'll get here when you get a decompressed zip file. You've got a guide here, and in this installation guide it says please read the documentation. And here in the folder documentation there is all documented what you should remember or make sure. And especially here in this one for advanced, there are several things you need to do before you import it. The blocks basic stuff here is safe, so we made sure that we did not include any Z characteristics or any function modules in the customer namespace, so you should be able to import that right away. The PM probably also not. So and just for in this case, he mentioned this characteristic, and exactly here in this checklist here, it says please create these characteristics with these values here, and then you should be okay. But you need to do all of the stuff here mentioned in this document, of course. So read the manual, read the documentation before you do anything, before you complain about something. And that's a basic rule of this. Okay.
The one who is reading is a coward.
Yeah, I know. I tend sometimes to do the same thing, but I have to say this really. Okay. That was this next thing. I want to hint, and that is a mail I got. And please, if you have something to say, maybe just write a comment here in the cafe, and instead of just writing me a mail, maybe some other guy already has a solution for it, or can say, okay, I've got the same problem, so I can say, okay, this is really a problem that many people have, so maybe I can look into it. And in this case, I can read out. I need help from you. I have a standard characteristic here. Hold on. He complains that he cannot see the process management tab here, and I suspect that the following has happened. There are two ways to access characteristics. The one way is the transaction CT04, which is just a generic transaction for characteristics anywhere in the system. And if you use then a characteristic that you have set up for PPPI, so in this characteristic group 01 and 02, I think, you won't see this this button here. So there's nothing for process management, and this is only for the old style process instructions thing, where you have the user exit to automatically evaluate certain characteristics, of course. The characteristic you need to do is the following. It is O26C, which is or 25 or 27, I think. They're all the same, I think, and you can change here, and then you see this button here. So that's the transaction you need to go for, just to see this button and to enter the this value assignment functions, maybe other things here. Okay, that was this hint I wanted to give very, very briefly. That's for Nanda. Right. The next thing I want to show is a question of a colleague from Japan. Actually, I met him in a workshop with a customer there, and there I showed how to pass values from one table to another. I already have an example in my blog, which is slightly different. So I just said, okay, I'll just make a second example, and maybe I also print out or create an article of that. So the deal is he wants to input something in one table as an input field, and then has another table where he wants the same in one column as an output field, right? And he had some problems in doing that, and I would like to show that to you right now. Okay. So what did I do? First of all, let's go to the SEAT to show you the function module I created there. So pretty simple function module. So I've got two tabular values here. In my case, they are characteristic values. So that's the structure here that I defined here. And then I just loop over the first tabular value, and then just shift the values to the another tabular value. I've got here, of course, I have to take care if the other table is smaller than the first table. I need to probably append value instead of modify value. So, but when I create an article, I will give you this as a small coding piece, of course. Okay, what did I do to demonstrate this? I've got this standard XStep. I've got the function call here just as a button in my case. You might want to have it maybe as something else, but maybe my recommendation is to use buttons rather than do it by events, because sometimes events together with tabular values can be quite cumbersome. Can be a performance issue because there can be some looping going on that you don't see probably. So my recommendation is, if possible, do it with a button rather than with events. And I've got one table defined here with one parameter as an input field here. This is that one here. And the other table here, well, I also made sure that I cannot add a table line here manually. It's not really necessary, but it's probably for the business case more convenient here. And here on that column here, I have just an output of another parameter. So I've got basically two parameters here. Let's show this in the parameter settings here. So this one and this one, they're both here the same characteristic as short text. All tabular parameters, of course, and the other two are just for displaying or entering other stuff. Okay, and well, of course in that function module here, I just define these as input and output fields if you want. You cannot see really that it's input and output field. It's probably a good idea if you create such function modules that in the short text of the interface definition that you probably say this is an input table parameter and this is an output table parameter, so that the users here can really see, okay, this what to put where. Okay. Right. Let's just have a look at it and see how it works. So that's the PI sheet here. I'll just enter something here, something maybe here, and press the button, and I see this displayed here. I add a new value here, and it extends this table here magically. So that's the software is clever here to just extend this table when the parameter is extended, and I can independently here also enter values that they don't interfere whatsoever with what I do in the other table here. So that was this little example. Went pretty quick now. Any questions, any comments from your side?
You can do it as well without this push button as you enter this function module as a check module for the entered parameter one, and which creates automatically the table 2.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know it's a kind of misuse, but
yeah. Basically, I played a lot around with manipulating these tables in the PI sheet, and probably I had also done something wrong, but many times when I tried to trigger this manipulation of another table from inside another table here, I get some weird results sometimes. So maybe in your case it was fine.
Well, it was just an idea, but
yeah.
I didn't check it. Right?
Yeah, okay. So please be careful if you do that from inside the table. I generally recommend to do this manipulation stuff from outside. So like this. Yeah? Enter a button here. User has to press here. That's maybe not very nice, but then it's a very clean process. Yeah, because when you do it inside here, you're inside this tabular structure, and you might get problems, maybe. So just be prepared.
Okay.
Maybe let's just have a look here at. I've got this post here already here as well, and there I also make some comments on this. So this is the other article where I show this in a slightly different use case. So, yeah. Yeah, any other comments, questions on this?
No.
Maybe any comments on the other topics I explained before, quite briefly. I did move on pretty quickly, so maybe you wanted to comment. No? Okay. Right. And the last thing I have prepared today is something a little bit more special, as a nice fun stuff. Many customers complain about the printout of PI sheet, and this is it's not very nice to do the printout, and got many problems. Of course, one problem you cannot really overcome is when you have large tables, wide tables. There will always be a problem if you want to print out those tables. I mean, if you prepare a document that is meant to be worked on a website or web-based technology where you can scroll endlessly if you want to bring that on paper, that's always a problem. So this principle stuff. However, there is, during my time in consulting, I created, well, basically two consulting solutions. One I already mentioned here in the blog as well. That was the swaying solution. And the other one is a printout solution. And I just want to show this here. A small, that's not good. Now you see my preview, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just show it here like this.
Okay.
So what I'm using here is I'm using formatting objects from Apache. So that's just a open source stuff which basically allows you, if you convert an XML, whatever XML it might be, into a formatting object specific format. That's another XML. A little bit like HTML would be, like the HTML which is prepared by a style sheet by SAP for displaying the PI sheet. I have created an XSL style sheet to convert the normal XML, that's where the data of a PI sheet is in, to this formatting object specific format. And then there is a Java application provided by Apache to do this conversion into a PDF. So it's sort of another, well, sort of a coding, programming language, if you want, but a programming language for text programming. Like maybe some of you know TeX, LaTeX, or something like that. It's also a sort of a programming language for creating text, and that's a specific one for this formatting objects. And whereas the HTML, I mean HTML is also an XML clone, whereas HTML is meant to prepare something for the web with all the scrolling and all this stuff. This other format is meant to be put on paper, so it has many special things that support paper output. There is a documentation there which is not very nicely set up or formulated, but it's extensive. And well, I dug into it and I just prepared a predefined style sheet there, which hopefully my colleagues from SAP Consulting have also maintained and maybe also improved, which includes the realization of many of the usual standard objects of a PI sheet. So like outputs, inputs, calculations, all this stuff, tables, that all these are then also handled in an appropriate way by the style sheet. Of course, if you want additional stuff, or I think it's not final. So I say many usual standard objects. So there might be things there still which need to be added if you have these requirements. So there might be an additional need to enhance the style sheet. And of course, what I can show you right now is if you fetch this XML from the transaction OAER, which I already have explained several times, and download it, and then you can manipulate this, and then you get a PDF. Of course, that's a highly manual process, and but we had projects there where we did some automation of this, so that a report could then fetch this XML, downloaded it to a file system, then triggered that process to convert that, and then I don't know, probably also getting that PDF again back into the system. I'm not entirely sure what they really did there in these projects. So that's basically how it looks like. So in R3, you've got all the pictures that are needed for the PI sheet, of course. You would need those as well somewhere so that you can have the same representations on the sheet. You've got you've got this HTML XSL, which then creates the HTML PI sheet. You have to transfer the XML to the file server here. Then you've got the FOP XSL, and that one here is then passed through this processor here and creates then this PDF. And of course here you need some custom coding to make this all running. And well, that's then the output, an example screen here, how it would look like, even with these bookmarks here, where you can navigate through the whole document. You see a table here. You see also in this example that you can create tables with a lot of fields. And what I did there is I made the font here for tables smaller than the normal font, so I could have some more things there in this table. I also had optionally a landscape printout here, so that you have more space there. But again, if you have too much here, you will get into trouble because the system cannot compile it because it's too full, and so there might be some problems there. So you cannot print everything you might have if you have very large tables. Okay, so that's the concept. Any questions so far on this?
No.
Okay, and I would like to show it to you. Hold on, I'll just show you first the example I have here. So I've got here a small PI sheet with a lot of stuff inside. Some simple instructions, some group instructions, some table instructions like this. And of course, in the transaction OR, I think that's already the correct, that's the correct control recipe number here. You get this data XML. I double-clicked on it, downloaded it on my file system. So again, that was a manual process. And then what I have here is the this one here. Let's just show it to you really quickly. Well, that's the usual XML here. What I then have is a style sheet here. Looks like this. I've got some parameters here to have landscape or portrait mode, some other parameters, which I don't remember honestly what I did there. So, and then it goes like in the other style sheet. So it's also a template for the root, and which sets up the layout master here. So there's several special commands here, and they all start with this FO colon. I don't go into details here, so that's really the details here. And then I've got a batch file here, which just calls this this FOP, this formatting objects preprocessor, chooses this XML, chooses this XSL, and that's the output, and that's for logging here. And when I'm doing this here, okay, you see I get this PDF, only one phase here. I also got bookmarks here for the instruction here, so you can really navigate quite nicely. This is in portrait mode here. There is a catch still if you use HTML coding here in the long text. You must also make sure that you demask these HTML coding snippets. They are here in the XML. They are masked with this CData statement, so you need to get rid of those so that you because I also have included some conversion here to also convert some HTML here. You see that several icons are here that are familiar here. The structure is different than in the PI sheet, so I've took the full width here for simple instructions, for example. This is a table here. You can see also that I have here a signature with a comment, and this is the comment S1. Well, there's still some work to do to be done here, I think. So it's not perfect here. You see here the comment as a footnote, and buttons are there. Of course, they do not make much sense here in this case. So this is how it looks like. That's it. And I have another example which is more complex. Let's just run this quickly. It's based from one of my customers there. I have hopefully anonymized all things. So yeah, you see here there are a lot of bookmarks here, and I've used landscape mode here, and I think let's have a look here. Yeah, here this is, for example, this is HTML code which I have demasked. So you see that's a very large font here. Here you see a table which is also quite wide. Also here. Okay, so this is it. I wanted to show this to you. Probably I will also write an article on the blog for this. And if you are interested there, you can write me a mail, and I will forward this to the consulting organization that they can get in contact with you. Again, it's probably not perfect. There's still a need of consultancy there, and of work on the style sheet maybe, and maybe also on ABAP supporting processes for making this round thing.
But just
yes.
How are you doing it today? You are downloading it with OAER?
Yes, that's the manual process, exactly. So what I did here is you just can double click here. You get this file. I can then page save as, then you save it as data XML, as I did save it, and then it's here that XML. It's the same here. I renamed it here, what I did not show so far. So then I started this process, and you see here there's still also some errors which are not so severe, I think, and you can see what this preprocessor is really doing, and there's one problem if you have, for example, here a table which is too full, and it cannot even with line breaks, it cannot fit all things into this whole containers. Then it will get into an endless loop. That's one of the problems which is you cannot really overcome. If it's too full, there's no way to really make this work. So that's something you need to look out for. But it looks much nicer than the plain printout from within the PI sheet. So that might be interesting for some of you.
I'm just thinking about the procedure for the customer. Usually he wants to have a button on the PI sheet which says print. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what my colleague from consulting, I think, also has done with at least one customer. They created ABAP functionality, maybe in batch mode. Maybe they had some sort of batch background process which did it based on certain order status or something like that to do the printout. There are also several use cases for this. So one would be as a sort of paper batch record, if you do not want to have it as an electronic batch record, which would be very sad, I think. But well, anyway. But maybe the more interesting thing would be as a fallback scenario in case your system is not there, so that you can sort of print out these things. And I think I also had some ideas or some setting I could activate that for tables that you could define. Okay, please for every table create so and so many lines, blank lines, so that you have those tables as a open empty table that you can fill in with pencil then later on. So that would be maybe one of the use cases there. Okay, so that's all what I had prepared for today. Any
Hi,
others?
Harley.
Yes.
I have a couple of questions. Are you okay with that?
I think Peter had a question before we started. He mentioned it. Maybe I can give Peter the opportunity to start.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Peter?
Yeah. I want to have a function, let's say, a function where I can push a button or call a function module which is changing me an icon inside the PI sheet. And not during the creation of the PI sheet, but better during the run of the PI sheet.
Yes. So that's similar, I think, with what I did in my weighing scenario with these status icons, which were not updated on a button press, but on certain conditions. Yeah, and so that's probably something you could use. I didn't have the time so far to to show how this works. You need to do something in the style sheet and then use some JavaScript inside. So basically, what I did there, I'll just explain it in words. I had an output field, a parameter output field, and I have it as a trigger. I have some special characteristic, maybe, or maybe a text in a characteristic. There's several ways of identifying certain things in the style sheet, and then I diverted that output. So I didn't. I said to the style sheet, no, don't put out here this output field. Instead, do something else. And this something else was display an image. And then
that's done in the style sheet.
Yes, and then on that coding, and where what I did there is also that I added an event. So I said on value change or something like that, trigger a certain JavaScript function. And then I could use that JavaScript function to check, okay, which is the value actually, and then do whatever I want. In my case, I had this value was sort of a snippet or a status of the icon. So I could say, okay, it's this status. So I'm changing the icon path to another path. So that's just web development techniques. It's not easy to explain in words right now. So I could, however, try. I mean, yeah. Maybe I can do that next time. Maybe I can prepare it. Maybe so because it's very hard not to do this ad hoc. Is that what you would need? So you have.
Yeah, it's especially for wing scenario where I have to trigger a specific status on, let's say, on a specific situation. It's where I'm out of tolerance. I want to have a different icon presented that gives an impression for the one who's doing the weighing that he's doing something wrong or something like that.
Yeah, that's. I think that's exactly what you would need there. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just remember for next time. Maybe. I'll just note that note that down for me. Yeah. Okay, Raghu, go ahead.
Hi. Actually, I missed last 2 sessions. I was busy with the client and the go live PA sheet go live. We just had it on November last week, so I was so busy with those stuff. And I have a question like. We have a lot of master recipes, more than 2,000 maybe. So we wanted to know which master recipes are already attached with the XStubs. Is there any table you can look at it? So we can just pull out the master recipes. Those are not attached to the XStubs and do it right away. Otherwise, if you don't have any place to do that, then you got to go to each master recipe separately. Yeah, that is our concern. Do you have any idea on that?
You mean you want to find out which master recipes don't have an XStep tree yet?
Exactly.
I'm sure there's some way to find it in the table, but honestly I don't know the tables there. Yeah. Sorry, no, I don't know.
Okay, I can or I can ask about people to find out.
On the other way around, we've got the where used list in the XStep repository, so where you can see, okay, if you have an XStep standard XStep, where in which recipes it is used. So that's but that's of course the other way around.
Yeah, other way. But if you have a lesser number of master recipes, I think you can do it in that way. And otherwise, a lot of master recipes, like more than 1,000, then we need to have some table, then download an Excel sheet or something. And one more question is, we have delayed timing issues in the table line when you add more than 100 lines in the goods issue for the same material. Yeah, and my question is, once the PA sheet is created, then our XStep spot is over, right? When you after PA sheet is created, then when you do the goods issue or goods receipt through PA sheet, the PA sheet is going to react like a same PA sheet as created by the older method, right?
I didn't get the question right. Sorry. Can you try to?
Yeah. Is there timing issue is not related with XStubs, right? Once a PA sheet is created. I mean, when you use more than 100 lines, we have delayed response in the PA sheet.
Yes.
Is that anything related with the XStub structure?
It's just the size of the of the data. Yeah. So if you've got a lot of data, and especially tables are worse than simple instructions, because tables they have nested instructions in their final HTML code. Yeah? So tables are even worse than simple instructions. So if you got a lot of table lines, yes, you have to be prepared for a longer response time. That's just law.
Okay. And even though you create a PA sheet using the characteristics based method, I mean the old method, you will be facing the same issues, right?
I would guess so, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that I want to confirm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the last question. If you have multiple lines, but if you want to report the data, one way is you have to right click and then report data for all table lines, or we can have a signature. Once put the signature and hit enter, it's going to report the data. But is there any way we can have only one signature for all table lines to report the whole data?
Yes, I think so. I think when you have a table and below that you've got a signature, you should be able to report all of those table lines with this signature.
Yeah, that's not a problem. But I think, Raghu, you are asking if you are signing inside the table. If you have an additional signature under the table, no problem. But you are asking inside the table, correct?
Yeah, I have inside the table lines, every line contains signature, but I want to remove the column and add the single signature at the bottom of the table. Only one signature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then it's a new instruction. Okay.
Yeah, but that should work, I think. We can hold on. Should just take a minute.
But that's what we are doing with the old instructions today. We are checking with let's say, a signature below a table if the total of the table is under the tolerance. I always have the problem with under the tolerance, not with over the tolerance, because under the tolerance, if you enter 5 lines, you might be under the tolerance, and if you sign everything, you are still under the tolerance, so you have a final signature which checks lower tolerance.
Okay.
I'll just very quickly try to make this here. Let's just enter character string here, and then here a signature. So dummy enter. Sign. So this is a table. This is some input, and you want to sign report all the data with the signature here. And okay, this is just a simple input field, and maybe it reacts different when I have a process message here. But I can try to at least to confirm this here. So they're all completed. So.
Oh, okay.
So this should be. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, exactly.
So this should work.
Oh, I need to add one more instruction for the signature underneath the table, right?
Exactly. And of
What
course, if you have something above which you don't want to have reported there, then you need another signature there. Yeah. So it all reports till the next upper signature.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, this is like a milestone confirmation. Go.
Yeah, if you want.
And what we are doing with this signature, we have a checking module on the signature where we are checking if the tolerance for the lines are okay. And if it's not okay, we are giving back a message, so he has to check his table before his signature takes place.
Okay, so you have a validation function in the signature field
Correct.
that checks the table parameters.
Correct.
Yes, that's a fine idea.
And Arne?
Yes.
Even though you reduce the number of columns in the table, still it's going to take some delayed response, right? Delayed time.
In my case, no.
More than.
Or what?
Okay.
Just now, or?
I'm just asking my first question, like if you have 200, 300 lines, if you reduce 1 or 2 columns in the table, still it's going to take the
if you
time
reduce
to
columns, it will have an impact, sure, of course.
Oh, okay. But that will not be major, right?
Depends. I'm not sure what the formula would be here. Yeah? But if you have, if you would reduce from I don't know 10 columns to 3, that would make probably a significant change. So you can make tests if you want.
Yeah.
I also had one. I think I have one stuff here. What I've found here, performance. That's the article where I had a table with only 1 column but 5,000 lines. Yeah, and you can see here and I made some tests here. So and then here were 10 columns and this is 1 column. Yeah, and you can see that from 10 to 1 column you can reduce or improve the performance significantly. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Arne.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any more questions? Okay. Then let's finish up this for today.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for attending and yes.
Just one question: the integration between PI Sheets and MII. I know there are some, let's say, demos where you showed it. Is there, let's say, a document which is downloadable from somewhere or do you know some companies that are integrating PI Sheets with MII?
That was just a demo showcase that I did, and I'm not aware of any company who just done it so far. But it's rather simple. It is just in sort of an isolated frame which shows something, and the only thing I had there to integrate it a little bit better in the PI sheet is the static call parameter of that page, which was dependent on its position in the PI sheet, for example, or I think I had the operation as a parameter to that call of that MRI content. And also the process order, so that the MRI could say, okay, this is this process order, and that's the operation, and I need to show this content in this case. Yeah.
But here you are talking about PI sheets where you are presenting some, let's say, applets from MII. I just am thinking of you are creating a process order which has a PI sheet in background, and it's downloading it to MII, and MII is working with it.
Yes, yes. There is a customer there who's using this template we have, or some of these templates that we have created there. Maybe that's not entirely true. I think it was a project before that, and this our batch manufacturing template was in partly derived from that. But that's exactly what they do there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you're from which area is this company?
Chemical.
Oh, chemical. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
You have to be aware of the fact that you probably need to really, for every new instruction you create, when you have a different structure, suddenly you need to adjust this in MRI. So it would be, in my opinion, very hard to really mimic the whole intelligence that the PI sheet framework has in MRI.
Yeah, but I'm not thinking of being as flexible as I am right now with my PI sheets. I'm just thinking of, let's say, a standard layout, for example, for a packaging area or for a formulation area, which is, let's say, pretty similar. And then I have my standard structure, which in MII I'm setting up this structure and I'm providing data.
Then you would just, you would just prepare data and use the external destination destination there, and then you would in MRI you would just pass this data, this XML data that you get there, and look for the parameters you need to take. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
It's just external system.
Okay. Thank you.
And maybe one last word from my side to all the folks that are looking at the recording later. It would also be nice if some new people come on to this live session as well. Would be more fun to talk to new people as well. So please feel encouraged to just come on site. Also, I want to point out here, I always update this date and time here, and this is of course the link to all the information you need to have to attend here. So you have to click on this link to attend, and if you're unsure, or please maybe just as a general rule of thumb, this is the time. It's my local time, and please can check here, for example, and I did just include this link. Hopefully, I don't forget to update the time here, so that you can see what time it's in your place. So that's just one more hint. Okay, and with that, I'd like to close this up and wish you a nice day.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.